Hello. I know. Before you said, Nathan, you look terrible. I know. I'm sorry I'm late. I thought it'd come on. My camera's not working. Should I turn on the lights? My iPhone isn't working as a camera like it's supposed to. So that's why I was a little bit late. I have a review of the Trump rally yesterday in Madison Square Garden. So I have that for you. I have as much as you want to hear. Where's the control for this? I was going to turn on my lights. There we go. As if that might help. No, it doesn't really add much. Hey, KDD, what's up? What's up, Spald? What's up, Christina? How are you guys doing? Happy Monday. I've been off for a few days. I was on California vacation. I went to visit my dad, who was having his 80th birthday. And then I stayed up there a little bit, visited like the Monterey Peninsula and Big Sur, went to Big Sur, took some pictures of it too, posted on my Instagram. Okay, so now let's see if this camera will work. Let's unlock the phone and let's see. I have this special feature where it hooks up to my phone. So I have the Democrats called it a pro-Nazi rally, like Clinton did and the Dems did too. So I'm going to show you those clips. I'll show you that there are some jokes that are being talked about that Tony, I think his name is Hinchcliffe, the Kill Tony guy. He's told some jokes that were taken very badly. Where he said Puerto Rico is an island of trash, for example. So I'll show you guys that. All right, let's see if this camera is working. I don't know what the hell's going on. Video, iPhone, 2 camera, not working. God, I wonder what that's all about. I can't show myself on camera like this every show. I'll have to blow up. I'll have to show something else on the screen. I have some of the latest ads. We're now a week away. It's next Tuesday, the election. So we're almost in November, and the election itself is November 5th. Wearing my Bitcoin shirt today. Gosh darn it. I really wish I had, wonder what it is. It just shows a white screen. That's what it shows for my camera, which is on, I think. Terrible. Switch to this camera. Gotta figure something out. I won't be able to continue the show looking like this. I have Tucker Carlson's full speech. I have Tulsi Gabbard's full speech. I have RFK Jr.'s full speech, I think. I have the Democrats saying things about it, saying that comparing it to a Nazi rally. So someone in the chat said, hey, fellow Nazis. So I don't know if you're supposed to say that word or if they ban you for it. People are claiming that when you search the Trump Rogan interview happened while I was it happened on Friday, 3 hours long. So I'm curious what you guys thought of that if you tuned in for. So he had some blockbuster type events, the Joe Rogan appearance and the Madison Square Garden rally, where he had a bunch of people appear, all the people I mentioned, plus Hulk Hogan. Don't know if you guys are gonna want to see his speech. Dana White, and then Trump did his speech for a while after all those other people. Christina says the picture looks darker. Yeah, I know. Cameras. Yeah, maybe I have to turn. Maybe I'll try closing some apps or something. See if that'll work. Music app. I mean, what if I close? I mean, which app could be screwing it up? Something that uses the camera. I don't think I have anything open that's using the camera. I'm just closing some different apps. Yeah, I know. We want to look good is the thing. Let's see. Close the phone. And then you put it up like this. And put it up here, and it's supposed to just automatically switch over. You lock it. All right, so I'm going to show you guys that. Do you guys want to see the full speeches? Do you want to see the speeches of these different people? Because I have those. I have the meltdown stuff. I have some ads. So I'll show you guys everything. All right, we'll get into the show. That way we won't have to show this whole screen. We will get into the show right now. Right now. Okay, cue musical intro. Boy, that's brilliant. I do think some things in the world are real. Like you guys. You guys are real. Most of you. Most of my listeners, I think, are not just in my head. I think I have the metrics to prove it. You've taken a leap of faith today. What is that sound? And I apologize if you take offense. I'm a little offended myself. Welcome to our show. Welcome to the future. What it is. Joining you live from sunny California. It's a beautiful day today. I'm your host, Nathan Stoltman. And I bring you the news, the real news. Yes, the real news. And so, curious whether you guys saw the rally live. It happened during football yesterday. It was huge. A bunch of people showed up to it. It had coverage from the news, including like PBS and stuff, because he was at Madison Square Garden. It was sold out. There were a bunch of people outside. So I asked a question to the chat, which people said no to. Whether I can't remember what the question was. All right, so let me show you some of the meltdown first. Then I have Kamala Harris. Maybe people say she's on cocaine. I have the jokes from Tony. I have like 3 minutes from him. I have the Democrat response. Here's the Democrats calling the rally Nazis. Do you guys just want to start out with that? I'll start out with some ads. Some of the latest ads. So we're 8 days away. Oh, I always start out with the poll, the odds, the betting odds. They've gone up since I started looking at them before this show, so I'll show you that. Oh, you guys don't want to see full speeches? Okay. Thank you. Okay, you don't want to see full speeches. That means I have to talk more. Oh, there's another story with Tim Wall. Tim Wall's being he had some kind of like love affair with somebody connected to the Chinese Communist Party. That's being reported today, as of just like a few hours ago. So let me show you some ads. Let me just check this one more time. I think it's just completely non-functional. Why? I'll have to restart the computer or something before I can get my camera working. All right, let me show you this. This is one of the ads that's running right now.
There are reports that say that you have the lowest approval rating of any vice president.
Well, there are polls that also say I have great approval ratings.
Swing voters don't like Harris. How drag is Kamala Harris on the ticket?
She's a pretty big jag. I think she was arguably Biden's worst political decision.
They don't like her. There's lots of reasons they don't like her.
Kamala Harris's approval rating is now at 28%, which is an historic low for any modern vice president.
We're hearing it from mainstream media, one outlet after another, one leak after another. That Kamala Harris is the worst vice president ever, the worst politician ever.
We don't see the vice president. What people are saying to me, and I'm sure they're saying it to you, where's the vice president? Some White House officials are feeling that she came off looking unprepared for inevitable questions about when she might visit the southern border.
We've been to the border.
You haven't been to the border.
And I haven't been to Europe.
And I mean, I don't understand the point that you're making.
The point that Lester Holt was making was obvious to anyone else who was watching this interview, which is that the issues at the border are inextricably linked with the portfolio that she's been given.
The border is secure. We have a secure border.
Bidenomics is working.
Prices have gone up. And families and individuals are dealing with the realities of that bread costs more, that gas costs more. And we have to understand what that means. That's about the cost of living going up.
He picked Kamala Harris to be his running mate. She was ranked and is ranked as the most liberal senator in the United States Senate. So he on the but he went to the left.
Joe Biden is running for re-election, and I will be his ticket mate. Full stop. Full stop. Sit.
Kamala the Terrible. I like that. I don't know if that's a real ad or not, but I have to say, basically, where I'm like looking at things. I was watching football yesterday. I was watching some of the ads, and I think just Trump has all the momentum. And going on Joe Rogan, I thought he did a pretty good job of seeming just kind of like not being a fascist. And then Kamala Harris, her whole thing right now, her entire raison d'etre is to call Trump a Nazi and a fascist. And for people to say his rally is going to be, the rally was Nazis and comparing it to that stuff. And she's just saying he's unfit to be president. And then this thing about him saying he wishes he had generals like Hitler did. Even some of the analysis is that those attacks are not effective attacks going into the home stretch. Here's another ad. Let me play you this. Let's see what this is. So yeah, that looks like a real ad. So that's one of them. Then the other one they're running during football is the transgender in prison ad, where they splice in clips of Charlemagne the God talking about that ad, talking about how Kamala Harris wanted to pay for sex changes in prison. So all that said, let's look at the odds. Those are a few ads. I have another ad. I'll show you that after. It doesn't matter what order we go in. We're all good. Everybody's happy. We're all excited to be here today because we're talking about real things that matter. There's going to be an election in a week and Trump's going to win, probably. That's the betting odds say. It's now 2/3 to 1/3, basically. So 66 cents, 66% chance that Trump's going to be president. That's on Polymarket. And even the odds. So those are the odds. You can see how they're spreading out. They continue to spread out. They continue to go in Trump's favor. He's favored to win all the states, all the battleground states. He's ahead in. So let's see if I go to swing states, for example. Here we go. Trump wins every swing state is only a 34% chance. That's pretty good. That's a pretty interesting one to bet on. Pennsylvania, though, he had, though, if you look at every state individually, the swing states, he's ahead in all of them by significant margins in the betting odds on Polymarket. These aren't polls, but he's ahead in the polls too. Every single swing state, he's leading the polls. So how's she going to win? She needs the blue wall, Wisconsin, Michigan, Pennsylvania, but she's losing in all those states in the polls. Just the average of the polls. And the polls have recently shifted, and the more recent polls are more in Trump's favor. So the averages are averaging polls over a period of time, where the polls that are the furthest back are the ones Kamala's doing the best in, and the polls that are closest to now, Trump's doing the best in. So it's not looking good. All momentum, pretty much everything is in favor of Trump right now. Somebody sent me a Cash App donation. Oh, yeah. Let me tell you, run an ad for our sponsor yet. We are sponsored by Truth Revolution Clothing. And if you want to send a super chat, you can send it to Cash App, $LTV401. Thanks to the person who just did it. I think people like to donate anonymously. $LTV401. You can send it there, or you can buy a t-shirt, or you can give us super chats. All that stuff works. So but those are the odds. You can bet, it's basically like a parlay to say that Trump will win every swing state, but Americans can't bet on this betting site. Anyway, there's another one called Kalshi. I'll show you all the betting odds. Kalshi. All right, let me show you that. Thanks, Capono, for linking the link to the sale at Truth Revolution Clothing, truthclothing.io. Thanks for bearing with me today, even though I don't look as good. Cameras. I got to get the new phone. I was going to do that. Let's see. Kamala versus Trump. Yeah, they're at 63 cents too. I mean, they're not all the way there, but they're close. I don't know who can bet on Kalshi. Maybe Americans can bet on Kalshi. I have to look into it. I don't think it's a bad bet. I mean, odds, but given the odds, though, it's kind of a fair bet. Would have been better to bet when the odds were. It would have been better to bet back in the day when I said it was a good idea to bet that Joe Biden wouldn't be president, back when it was like 50-50 that Biden was going to win. I mean, those were crazy odds. So here it is on Kalshi. This is another betting site, 62% to 38%. Drop for 9, drop a link to the Cash. I don't know. It doesn't use. Yeah, I could, but I don't know how. I'd have to do it from my phone or something. So anyway, those are the betting odds there. And then if you go to predictit.org, he's at 57 cents in the site that Americans are allowed to bet on. Kamala Harris is up 4 cents today for some reason. Don't know why. Kamala is up 4 cents today. And Trump's down a little bit today. Oh, that's refreshed. 60 cents on. So that's the highest I've seen it on Predictive. 60 cents. I guess he's been there for a few days, though. I just haven't been on the website. So he's gone up to 60 cents, and she's around 44 cents, 45 cents. So those are the betting odds, and those odds add up to more than 100. 538 election forecast. Trump now wins 54 to 46 on the 538 website, which just asks who's favored to win based on their analysis, and they run 1,000 simulations. It's 54 to 45 almost, 541 to 456 that Trump wins. And it's looking more and more like it's looking kind of mini landslide-ish when you do the no toss-up map, which I've shown you, which hasn't changed, but just shows Trump winning every single battleground state. It's weird when you look at the map and there's so much red, and all the blue in those little areas makes a big difference, especially California, basically. California and New York. but California is almost twice the size of New York as far as electoral college votes. But there it is. He's winning. He's winning in every battleground state in the polls. And as of right now, where is he nationally? Harris, RCP national average. Harris is winning Wisconsin, Nevada, Michigan. No, I thought he was ahead in the polls. Here's the polls. Pennsylvania, Trump versus Harris. Trump is ahead, 0.5. North Carolina, 0.8. Georgia, 2.3. Arizona, 1.5. Wisconsin, 0.3. Michigan by only 0.1. And Nevada by 0.7. Yeah, he's ahead in every single one. So that's what's going on. So looks like, based on polling and betting odds, which everybody's looking at this cycle as the betting odds, and things are just like slipping away from Kamala Harris. The more people see her, the more they dislike her. She can't answer simple questions. Here's a person who thinks she's on cocaine. I'll show you that. This is a long video of her touching her nose a bunch of times. So let's see. We look at all theories. So we're going to look at this theory closely. I have to reshare it. People are saying Kamala Harris is on cocaine and drunk, they claim. All right. So we'll
like, Mommy, you know, the thing about this, I always wanted to go to Howard, and I went to Howard. And actually, it was in February of 2004. Olives with cream cheese on dark rye. And so it's remember, I'm a prosecutor. I have focused on that. In a nutshell. And it was the assessor at the time. Can you perform some marriages? We need more people. And every like nook and cranny of City Hall. Important is that we also appreciate the nuance. You know, there's a lot more to do. Who's over the age of 18, so they're an adult. Because it was doubling it, right? Right, where poor people sit in jail and people who have money get out, that there is no difference between any of the kids, our kids, and those kids who are otherwise in the system. So, for example, not to sell you a bag of you know what, but it was
see what she's saying,
difficult to do. It was,
God, she just keeps pushing her face like over and over and over again. It's a 3 minutes 45 second clip. Madison Square Garden. I had people say they don't want to hear the full speeches. I wish I had highlights of the speeches. I have highlights of the Joe Rogan interview. And then I have like 3 minutes of Vivek and then 5 minutes of Tulsi. I haven't seen Tulsi's speech, so I kind of want to see it. Then 7 minutes and 41 seconds of Robert F. Kennedy Jr., which I haven't seen yet either. So I'm kind of curious about it. And then I have full Tucker Carlson thing, which I watched already today, which is over 9 minutes. Hulk Hogan. So I have big long clips. Big long clip of JD Vance and stuff. So I gotta figure out how to edit that down for you guys. Elon Musk, for some reason, is divided into shorter clips. Elon Musk was there. So the whole Trump package comes with all these other people attached to it, which a lot of people like. Vivek and Elon and Tulsi and RFK Jr. So let me show you some of the reaction. Well, let me show you Tony. Let's show you Hillary Clinton talking about the rally first. See if the sound works. No, sound disconnected. Okay. Show you Hillary talking about it. Everything is not going the way of Kamala Harris right now.
And, one other thing that you'll see next week, Caitlin, is Trump actually reenacting the Madison Square Garden rally in 1939. I write about this in my book. President Franklin Roosevelt was appalled that neo-Nazis, fascists in America were leading to essentially pledge their support for the kind of government that they were seeing in Germany. So I don't think we can ignore it. And one other thing that you'll see
talking about his rally that he had yesterday, last night in Madison Square Garden. Then I have another. Then I'll play Tony Hinchcliffe. Play what they melted down about. Sound cut out. Okay. So I have to reshare every time because the sound cuts out. Here we go. Here was Tony Hinchcliffe, his set, which is mostly what they're talking about, that he made some improper jokes.
I don't know about you guys, but I think that Travis Kelce might be the next O.J. Simpson. Feels good in here. The other side's got a lot of endorsements. Swift, Eminem, Leo DiCaprio, Beyonce. Every day the Democratic Party looks more and more like a P. Diddy party. Oh, okay. Okay, that's what you guys want. All right. Heck yeah. It's a cool black guy with a thing on his head. What the hell is that? A lampshade? Look at this guy. Oh my goodness. Wow. I'm just kidding. That's one of my buddies. He had a Halloween party last night. We cooked watermelons together. It was awesome. You guys this is a groany little morning crowd, huh? It's tough to follow this audition for the next Commissioner Gordon's over here. It is, though. It's crazy times we're living. All these pointless wars. It is unbelievable what's happening right now. It is incredible. Ukraine versus Russia, Israel, it's like bad soccer games. Who even cares? What are we doing? Why is our money involved in these wars? When it comes to Israel and Palestine, we're all thinking the same thing. Sell your stuff already. Best out of 3. Rock, paper, scissors. You know the Palestinians are going to throw a rock every time. But you also know the Jews have a hard time throwing that paper. You know what I'm saying? All right, we're having fun now. We're cooking.
I haven't heard the joke.
Hillary Clinton said that this is a Nazi rally here today. Can you believe that? For the most anti-war president in my entire lifetime, and she calls him Hitler. Let me remind you, Hillary, it was your husband who shot innocent people, or as he called them, interns. Yeah, Hillary, I bet you did not see that one coming. By the way, if I commit suicide in 3 weeks, I didn't. I mean, it's just obvious to me who the right candidate is. There's a guy out here dodging bullets. It is unbelievable, right?
All right. That's that clip. That's not the clip of the joke that I assumed that would include the clip of the joke that people were freaking out about. He told a joke about Puerto Ricans. He told a joke about Puerto Rico being an island of trash. He was saying there's a thing of trash out in the ocean and we call it Puerto Rico or something. All right, let me get it. Tony, let me get the joke. then you guys can hear it. So then Bad Bunny, somebody else, some other people I don't know. Bad Bunny and a few other Puerto Ricans came out and supported Kamala. Let's try it. Okay, I think this is it. Let me try it here. The Democrats are all sharing this. Like it's going to be what loses the election for Donald Trump is somebody's Puerto Rico joke. Let me see.
A lot going on. Like, I don't know if you guys know this, but there's literally a floating island of garbage in the middle of the ocean right now. Yeah. I think it's called Puerto Rico. Okay. All right. Okay. We're getting there. Again, normally I don't follow the national anthem, everybody. A lot going on. Like, I don't know if you guys know this.
So he said that. That was very poorly received. Some people came out. Kamala HQ is reporting about it. AOC. All right, let's play this clip. AOC and Walls were playing video games. They're still trying to get male votes. And Kamala was caught on hot mic saying they need to get more male votes. They were playing Madden or something with each other on the interwebs and having a conversation here about this Puerto Rico thing. Let me see.
These are terrifying.
Absolutely wild times. It really, really is. And, there's a lot going on. Like, I don't know if you guys know this, but there's literally a floating island of garbage in the middle of the ocean right now. Yeah. It's called Puerto Rico. Okay. All right. Okay. We're getting there. No.
Who is that jackwad? Who is that guy?
Actually, I think that's Tony Hinchcliffe, which is super disappointing. I mean, I don't. He's a comedian. I followed
this
crew
issue
very
with Puerto
closely,
Rico
but-
again. I saw it. This was when he went down after Helene, the horrific hurricane. People there,
I don't care
everybody
about
coming
these
together.
guys.
We sent helicopters.
These guys reacted to it. And then people were pointing out, for people who are all freaking out about this issue, that George Lopez made a joke about Mexicans stealing things here.
Donald Trump said he was going to build a wall, and Lopez said, you better build it in one day, because if you leave the material out there overnight. Donald Trump said he was going to build a wall.
So he made a racist joke too. It sounded like Tony made a few racial jokes about Palestinians throwing rocks and Jews not liking to throw paper. So, which I thought was kind of funny, personally. Here was AOC talking about the rally, and then I'll play you guys some. Yeah, I'm going to play you some speeches. It's all right. I get to choose what to do. 33. We're 33 minutes and 33 seconds in. That's impressive. You guys want to buy some t-shirts? Check out our store. Truth Revolution Clothing. That's truthclothing.io. Let's see if, share this. I haven't said. This is the sale here. Truthclothing.io. We have all of our stuff on clearance sale. It's all super high quality, and you want to buy as many things as possible before they sell it. I'm wearing our Bitcoin shirt today. See? Bitcoin. And Bitcoin actually is up. I should have talked about that. Bitcoin's up, and I think it's going to be up because of Trump. Because Trump is going to be a pro-Bitcoin president. You can get those shirts for $5 right now. Bitcoin shirts are $5. Crypto future shirts are also $5. Almost all the crypto shirts are $5, except for Bitcoin saves, which is $10 or $15. Check them out. Go to truthclothing.io. You can buy all these shirts, Lift Veil shirts, propaganda shirts. Where is the propaganda T-shirt? It looks like we have a few of those in stock. What is that up there, then? I have to take a look. Oh, these are the propaganda baseball. Huh. We still have those for sale in different sizes, it looks like. That's the propaganda baseball jersey. That's like an illegal shirt. Check out truthclothing.io and go to the sale page. Okay. Now, what was I going to play you? Speeches or AOC saying this thing was going to be a stop the steal rally? Let's see. Here we go. Stop sharing.
This was a hate rally. This was not just a presidential rally. This was also not just a campaign rally. I think it's very important for people to understand that these are mini January 6th rallies. These are mini Stop the Steal rallies. These are rallies to prime an electorate to rejecting the results of an election if it doesn't go the way that they want. Because Donald Trump and that of people up on that stage, Stephen Miller, etc., do not respect the law of the United States of America, and either to win this election or they are using rhetoric of taking it by force. That is what they mean, and that's what they're doing. They are inciting violence and hatred against Latinos, against Black Americans, against Americans who don't have children, you have Vance literally talking about watering down people's right to vote, depending on if they can viably carry a child or not. We have to understand how unhinged this campaign has gotten. And the only reason that the rhetoric has gotten this far is precisely because they are trying to prime kind of froth that led up to the January 6th attack on the Capitol. And so it's very important that we connect those dots. And now the campaign is scrambling and they're trying to blame this rhetoric on a so-called comedian. This is not a comedian. This is the Trump campaign. They invited this rhetoric on their stage for a reason. It was a chorus of speakers on that campaign for a reason. It was vetted and they knew exactly who was going to say what before they went on. And so the only backtracking that they're doing right now is just because tens of thousands of Puerto Ricans happen to live in Philadelphia, Florida, Michigan, Wisconsin, and also the several swing states in the House of Representatives that run through the state of New York. And they're just realizing that they might have made a big error by saying out loud what they're thinking.
Yeah. So there's AOC going off. Yeah. So the closing argument is that they're racist. I have Trump. That they're racist, and that's why they had the racist Tony Hinchcliffe on there just doing some jokes. Trump says he has a little secret that him and a few people know. I have Kamala Harris caught on hot mic. Let me show you that. Here's Kamala Harris caught on hot mic. Let me show you that. Saying they have to do better with men. Here it is.
Yeah. Oh, we have microphones and listening to everything. Oh, I didn't realize that. Okay.
She said, she says we need to move ground among men. I can't hear it very well. Maybe you can't either.
Yeah. Oh, we have microphones and listening to everything. Oh, I didn't realize that. Okay. So, well, now you tell my F words. So, family secrets. Shit.
She's a crazy person.
Anyway, it's good to see.
I'd hate to be a politician. You can't do anything. can't say anything. So leak it. People will turn on you. Terrible business. Who would want to do it? So anyway, that was her being caught on mic. I have her. There's some ballot boxes being blown up right now in Portland and Vancouver, Washington. Oh, here we go. Yeah, I'll show you the other thing about the Trump rally. Let me show you that. How they compared it to a Hitler rally, a Nazi rally, pro-fascist rally.
But that jamboree happening right now, you see it there on your screen, in that place, is particularly chilling because in 1939, more than 20,000 supporters of a different fascist leader, Adolf Hitler, packed the garden for a so-called pro-America rally, a rally where speakers voiced anti-Semitic rhetoric from a stage draped with Nazi banners. When a Jewish protester rushed the stage, the Associated Press reported, quote, instantly, a dozen or more stormtroopers set upon him, knocking him down and beating him as he held his head in his arms. Most of his clothing was torn from his body. Later, he was booked for disorderly conduct. Now, against that backdrop of history, Donald Trump, the man who has threatened to use military against opponents he calls enemies from within, who has threatened to use the troops to quell what he says are lawless cities, and use those troops to carry out mass deportations of immigrants, is once again turning Madison Square Garden into a staging ground for extremism.
There you go. A staging ground for extremism. Really? Wow. That's creepy. They called it a staging ground for extremism. Wow. Let's show you, because I want to watch it. Let's listen to Tulsi. Well, we'll listen to Vivek because that's about 3 minutes. I want to listen to a few of the speeches from yesterday's rally, which was a staging ground for extremism. A staging ground for extremism. Let's listen to some of the speeches. I have to listen to Vivek, see what he says.
Our message to Black Americans tonight is this. We want you, what we want for every American. Safe neighborhoods, good job, clean streets. A country where you are judged based on the content of your character, not the color of your skin or your political beliefs. That's the America we know. Our message to gay Americans tonight is this. You're free to marry who you want, if you want, without the government standing in your way. But that doesn't mean that boys get to compete with girls in girls' sports, or you do genital mutilation and chemical castration on our children. Our message to every legal immigrant in this country is this. You're like my parents. But our message to every illegal immigrant, if you came legally, you get the same American dream that everybody else does. Work hard, get ahead, make contributions to this country, love the nation. That's our message to legal immigrants. But our message to every illegal immigrant is also this. We will return you to your country of origin. Not because you're all bad people, but because you broke the law. And the United States of America is founded on the rule of law. Our message to my generation, the millennials, is this. You were sold a false bill of goods. You were told you become a gender studies major in California. Somehow that gets you a head start on the American dream when it hasn't worked out that way. Dead on your shoulders. The Iraq and Afghanistan wars. Yes, true, lied. But we can't just be cynical about our country because this is still the last best hope that we have in the free world. And our message to Gen Z is this. You're going to be the generation that saves the country. You want to be a rebel, 18 years old, stand up on your college campus, call yourself a conservative, be proud of it. Say you want to get married, have kids, raise a family, and have a good job. That's how we win in America. We don't have to be this nation in decline. We are still on our way up. We're still that country where we will look our children in the eye and mean it when we tell them, you get ahead in the United States with your own hard work, your own commitment, your own dedication, and that you know what? You are free to speak your mind at every step of the way. That is the American dream. That is what we are running to. And that is what we get when we send Donald Trump back to the White House this November. Thank you. God bless you and the grace in New York. And may God bless our United States of America. Thank you. God bless. Thank you, guys.
That's good. You got to remember, voting for Trump is voting for free speech. There are positives. And he claims, and J.D. Vance said he doesn't want to go to war with Iran specifically. So that was something else too. There's Vivek. Yeah, got to remember free speech. More people are becoming Republicans. The LA Times and the Washington Post both had their owners come down on their editorial department telling them they could not endorse Kamala Harris. That's news that happened. The Washington Post, like Jeff Bezos, specifically said to the Washington Post that they were not allowed to endorse Kamala Harris after they drafted their article endorsing Kamala Harris. So, and that happened with there's like a Chinese guy that owns the LA Times who did the same thing. And apparently Bezos said they're going to hire more conservative writers for the Washington Post. All right, I have Tulsi's speech. Let's see what she has to say. Are you guys voting? There are people who abstain, which I respect also.
Join me as I say these words. We hold these truths to be self-evident, that all men are created equal, and that we are endowed by our Creator with certain unalienable rights, and that among these are life, liberty, and the pursuit of happiness. As we gather here today on this historic occasion, we stand together as proud Americans in understanding that these very rights are under attack. So we face this historic crossroads where our freedom and our future is in our hands. There's never been a more clear choice in any election in my life, and our ability to live in a truly peaceful and free and prosperous country is on the line. I love you too. And it is that love brings us together here today, that love for freedom, that love for our country and love for each other as fellow Americans, as children of God, that compels us to take action to save our country and defend our freedom. Now, this choice that we have before us is very personal to me. I'm a lieutenant colonel in the Army Reserve. I've served now for over 21 years. I've deployed to different war zones 3 times over that period, and I've seen the cost of war. My brothers and sisters who paid the ultimate price, I carry their memories and their sacrifice in my heart every day. So this choice that we have before us as Americans is critical. It's important to us. It's important to those of us who serve, who have volunteered to put our lives on the line for the safety, security, and freedom of our country and our people, and it's critical to all of us. Here is the choice that we have. A vote for Kamala Harris is a vote for Dick Cheney, and it's a vote for war, more war, likely World War III and nuclear war. A vote for Donald Trump is a vote for a man who wants to end wars, not start them. and who has demonstrated already that he has the courage and strength to stand up and fight for peace.
Okay, good enough. Tulsi, that was the most exciting speech. Vivek speech better so far. I'm scoring them. There's Tulsi Gabbard, who's now officially a Republican, which means she'll run for something. It'd be cool if she ran for something she could win, but I don't think she can win in Hawaii. So she'd have to move somewhere where she could win, but she could win in all kinds of different swing states. She decided to. Lots of people move around to run for Senate. That would be her next step, I would think. Run for Senate and then run for president again. It's going to be a very interesting election next election. Okay, so there's somebody was saying in the chat something being staged. Apparently there's a story being pitched. To journalists that the Butler assassination attempt was staged. So I have to like it was a hoax, like a false flag. So I saw that on Mark Halperin's show I was listening to today. So there's somebody pitching a story, allegedly, that the shooting at Butler, Ohio was staged. Which I don't think it was, but it's possible. It was a strange event. It seems like it would be difficult to pull off. All right, so that was Tulsi Gabbard. RFK Jr. spoke at the event. And Carlson spoke, and he was good too, but too long. Hulk Hogan spoke. People liked Hulk Hogan. RFK Jr. All right, let's listen to a little RFK Jr. See how he was at the rally.
A lot of people ask me why I left the Democratic Party. And I say, I don't leave the Democratic Party. The Democratic Party left me. This is not the party anymore of Martin Luther King, of Robert Kennedy, of John Kennedy. That was the party of peace. It was the party of constitutional rights, of civil rights, of freedom of speech. It was the party that wanted to protect and nurture the middle class. It was the party that stood up to censorship, to surveillance, that stood up to the CIA, to the military-industrial complex. And it was the party that wanted to protect public health and women's sports. My uncle, Ted Kennedy, wrote Title IX, which protected women's sports in college. It was the party that believed in voting rights and fought for the right of every American to vote for the person of their choice. Today's Democratic Party is the party of war. It's the party of the CIA. You had Kamala Harris giving a speech at the Democratic Convention that was written by neocons. It was belligerent, pugnacious, that talked about the domination of the world by the United States through our weapons of war. It's the party that wants to divide Americans. It's the party that is dismantling women's sports by letting men play women's sports. It's the party of Wall Street. It's the party of Bill Gates, who just gave $50 million to Kamala Harris. is the party, and that the Harris campaign is very proud that it received the endorsement of 50 former CIA agents and officers. And John Bolton, and FK Jr. These are the people that gave us the war in Iraq, the worst foreign policy catastrophe that's ever happened to this country. These are the people that gave us the Patriot Act, that launched the surveillance state. These are the people that are trying to undermine voting rights in this country by weaponizing the federal agencies against political candidates, including me and Donald Trump and all other political candidates that can't win an election. And instead of bringing in a candidate who wins the primaries, abolish the primaries, and then pick two candidates, anointed them without receiving votes. We don't even know how Kamala Harris received the nomination. And this is the party of Wall Street, of big banks, of big data, of big tech, of the military contractors, and the parties of big pharma, big ag, big food, and big chemicals. It is the party that's given us the sickest children in the history of the world. When my uncle was president, 6% of Americans had chronic disease. We spend 0 on chronic disease in this country. Today, 60% of Americans have chronic disease. It's existential for our country. We're spending $4.3 trillion a year, 5 times our military budget. 77% of American boys cannot qualify for military service because of chronic disease diagnoses. This is existential for our country. President Trump told me after 3 hours after his shooting, he said, would I come and sit down with him? And he said to me during that meeting, he said, there are some things that we can agree on and some we disagree on. The landscapes on which we agree are so much larger. He said, I want to end the wars. I want to end this surveillance and censorship. I want to protect the Constitution. I want to protect freedom of speech. I want to end the surveillance. I want to end the weaponization of government against American politicians. And I want to end the chronic disease epidemic. Now, don't you think that we deserve a president in this country who's going to restore the moral authority of the United States of America? Oh, you think that we deserve a president who's going to end the warfare state and rebuild the middle class? Oh, you want a president who's going to put America first? And don't you want a president who's going to protect our children? And who's going to protect women's sports? And who's going to stop dividing this country along racial lines? And don't you want a president who's going to end the corruption at the federal agencies, at FDA, at NIH, at CDC, and at the CIA? And don't you want a president who's going to make America healthy again?
And RFK Jr. is going to have a
don't want a president who's going to make America great again.
Big pharma, big ag. big chemical.
And we need to go to the polls on November 5th and vote for Donald Trump. God bless
There you
you
go.
and
That's
God bless
RFK
America.
Jr.'s tweet. And the cat says, I'm voting because of RFK Jr. Yeah, I think that's it's the only way he's going to get in a position of power is by going along with Trump. So for a lot of these people, I imagine him appointing these people to different cabinets, and not to mention the Department of Government Efficiency, DOGE, which Elon Musk supposedly is going to run. Let's see, is there any good clips left? JD Vance talks for a while. Dana White, Elon Musk. He said he can cut $2 trillion from the budget. Talked about taxation. So then I have Trump saying he has a little secret. I was wondering what this was about. I actually heard this live. Trump saying he has a little secret that's helping out with the race.
We got to get the senators elected because we take the Senate pretty easily. And I think with our little secret, we're going to do really well with the House, right? Our little secret is having a big impact. He and I have a secret. We'll tell you what it is when the race is over. We got to get
What do you think they got going on?
because we can take the Senate pretty easily. And I think with our little secret, we're going to do really well with the House, right? Our little secret is having a big impact. He and I have a secret. We'll tell you what it is when the race is over.
Don't know what it is.
The senators.
Don't know what the little secret is. So he did drop that at the rally. And then otherwise, speech is pretty decent. I mean, he gives mostly the same speech at every rally. So yeah, the rest of those clips I have are like full length. I have Vivek responding to CNN. Vivek responding to CNN, responding to the joke about Puerto Rico, which just wasn't, I don't know, it wasn't super funny. Let's see. The sound's going to cut out, so I have to reshare. Show you Vivek. Oh, no, that's 10 minutes. I can't play you that. I have Kamala Harris implying that Trump is going to take people's free speech and guns away. I have ballot boxes being destroyed in Portland so there are some ballot boxes being destroyed on this like stolen election front or the election meddling front. Here's one story.
Breaking news from the Pacific Northwest. State election officials are working to determine how many ballots were destroyed overnight after two apparent arson attacks. Drop-off ballot boxes were apparently targeted in Vancouver, Washington, and Portland, Oregon. Police found an incendiary device, that's their frame, inside the Portland ballot drop-off box. County elections officials say fire suppressant inside the drop box protected nearly all the ballots. Only 3 were damaged. But officials in Vancouver fear that hundreds of ballots could have been damaged or even destroyed. It is not clear if the two are connected. The FBI is investigating. Breaking news from the Pacific Northwest.
So that's the news on those ballots. And then there's a video here, which you can see. Let's share this. You can see video there of a ballot box on fire and them scraping out ashes. You can't hear it. So they're just scraping out ashes from a drop box. It's on fire. In Vancouver, Washington. Hundreds of ballots apparently affected. But that's not a big deal. Oh, feds are now saying there are going to be, they're saying there's going to be a lone wolf domestic terrorist attacks. So here's the FF that's coming. Domestic terrorist attacks are going to be on the rise about the election. Let's show that.
Intelligence agencies are warning of threats of violence in the upcoming election. In a joint intelligence bulletin, agents from the FBI and the Department of Homeland Security are warning law enforcement agencies that domestic violent extremists are seeking to terrorize and disrupt the vote. Let's get more now from NBC's Ken Delaney. What more can you tell us about this warning, Ken?
Good morning, Anna. The FBI and the Department of Homeland Security are warning in this new intelligence bulletin of the heightened risk of lone wolf attacks by domestic extremists motivated by election-related conspiracy theories, including beliefs in widespread voter fraud and their hatred of their political opponents. This will surprise no one who's been paying attention, but it's significant that these agencies are putting this out to local law enforcement a week before the election. The new unclassified bulletin says the goal of these attacks would be to terrorize and disrupt the vote. And to be clear, this document does not describe intelligence about any specific threat. It talks about a general atmosphere of anger and misinformation that prompt unable people to engage in threats or violence. And of course, we've already seen that in recent weeks with a series of arrests for election threats, including a man in Philadelphia who allegedly displaced election workers alive. And remember last week, police in Phoenix arrested a person in connection with a mailbox fire that damaged around 20 ballots. The report identified potential targets of violence to include candidates, elected officials, election workers, members of the media, and judges involved in election cases. The potential threat includes physical attacks and violence at polling places, ballot drop boxes, voter registration locations, and rallies and campaign events. And of course, our report doesn't say this, but it's obvious that a lot of these extremists are driven by years of lies about the election, 2020 election by Donald Trump and his lies.
A very important warning, Ken Delaney, and thank you for bringing us that.
U.S. intelligence warning about lone wolf domestic terror attacks because of the election fraud stories. Yeah, there you go. Oh, I didn't play you the joke that was supposedly the most crude from the Donald Trump rally. I can play you that. That's crazy, that thing about domestic terrorists. Beware of FFs. That's all I can tell you. So I can close that tab. I can close that tab. I can close that tab. Okay. So let me play you the actual joke. Oops. Stop sharing. Okay. Let me play you the actual dirty joke from Hinchcliffe. This was actually it.
I welcome migrants to the United States of America with open arms. And by arms, I mean like this. It's wild. And these Latinos, they love making babies too. Just know that. They do. They do. There's no pulling out. They don't do that. They come inside, just like they did to our country.
That joke triggered people.
Republicans are the party with a good sense of humor. I welcome migrants.
There he said, Latinos come inside. This was, Bad Bunny and who else? Let me see. Here's a clip about CNN.
It's worth noting that while we showed you that joke about the pile of garbage that comedian made, he also said something else about Latino voters that I can't play because I know a lot of you are probably at the breakfast table with your little kids. And if we played it, you'd have to shut us off because it was so incredibly crude that it's a family program and we're just not going to do it.
There you go. That was her freaking out over that joke. Okay. Then I have ad apparently. I have an ad apparently from white dudes for Harris saying that Republicans are going to go after porn. Here's this ad. Apparently, that's sort of it says. This is a white men for Harris ad.
Sorry, you can't do that.
What the hell, man? How'd you get in here?
I'm your Republican congressman. Now that we're in charge, planning more nationwide.
You can't tell me what to do. Get out of my bedroom, you creep.
I won the last election, so it's my decision. I'm just gonna watch and you finish illegally.
There you go. So that's apparently. People do want to ban porn, though. I came out controversially in favor of not actually banning porn. It's impossible. Yeah, I think you can legally anyway. And then age restrictions with porn are difficult because if you do age restriction, that means you have to show ID. And then they could get their account compromised and stuff. So, Yeah, thorny issue. But anyway, that was an ad apparently. Here's Chris Cuomo. People say he gets it. Let me see.
You got to stop thinking that the people who support Trump are like Trump, that they speak like Trump, that they like Trump. They don't. They want to hire Trump to do a dirty job. They want him to be a virus to the political corpus. They want him to disrupt, to destroy, to demean those that they disrespect and dislike, that they distrust and despise. They want someone to do what they believe has been done to them and that they cannot do themselves. That's why they don't care that he exhibits terrible behavior, because they're putting him into a terrible place. If you're sending somebody into the jungle, do you really care if they're a savage? You see what I'm saying? And you have to understand it that way. You may not agree, you may not accept, you may not like, but that's what it is.
There you go. Do you agree or disagree? That's the question with what Chris Cuomo is saying. People are around that. I mean, that thing about the media, about the newspapers, and apparently, Bezos said he's going to hire some more conservative journalists. Okay, I showed you guys the ballot box stuff. I have a funny clip of Janet Yellen. But the tide is turning a little bit. More people are Republican than before. More younger people in particular are Republican now. So that's the news we're in. Okay, so I showed you guys a bunch of stuff. I can show you this clip of Janet Yellen. Let me see if I can show you that. I'll show you this clip of Janet Yellen saying that. Here, check this out. It's pretty funny.
Thank you, Colby Smith with the You've got calls for widespread tariffs is deeply misguided, and the IMF today has warned that such policies will dent global growth. Can you elaborate more on the near-term economic impact of these policies and over a longer time horizon? How concerned are you of the potential impact of the dollar status as the world's reserve currency?
Let's see.
Thank you, Colby Smith with the FT.
See, it's right when the person asks about the status of the dollar as reserve currency. So I guess I should show you. I know Dogecoin's been pumping too. Wow, Dogecoin has really been pumping. Up 13% today. Get out of town. I was thinking good things about Dogecoin. So yeah, let's see how Bitcoin's doing right now. Speaking of the demise of the US dollar, yeah, you should buy a little Bitcoin if you help. Oh, yeah, it's almost at 70K now. So it's kind of broken out of a little bit. So Bitcoin's doing well. If you like Bitcoin, buy a t-shirt, truthclothing.io. Check out, here's the chart. Here's the daily chart of Bitcoin. So it's up 69,847 right now, up 2.71%. But Dogecoin I was on is up like 13%. Crazy. I was thinking about it. I wonder how Wolf is doing today. Dog with hat. All right, guys. That's it for the show today. Thanks for tuning in. Glad to have you guys. I'll have my camera fixed for the next one. If you want to support the show, you can also go to buymeacoffee.com/lifttheveil. I'll check to see if anybody dropped me anything there. Remember, you can donate by super chats, Cash App, $LTV411. Then nobody takes anything out of it. Or you can go to buymeacoffee.com/lifttheveil, and they take a small amount. I got one payment on my Buy Me a Coffee. That was for a crypto consultation. So if you need help with cryptocurrency or anything, you can just contact me on my mobile or on my show mobile, 650-taxi, 650-429-8294, or by reaching out on Twitter, where I'm at LiftTheVeil411. All right, guys. Have a good one. We'll see you at the next show around 4 p.m. Pacific time, 7 p.m. Eastern time, Monday through Friday. All right. We'll see you at the next one. For now, that's what it is.